let's get back into it. So last time we got, oh, that's the wrong button, bat form, and the ability to shoot fireballs is bat form. After we, dicked around for far too long trying to remember where the hell I get bat form. But here we are, back in the game. Right now, I was contemplating this, actually. So with bat form, I can fly up here and go fight the final boss. I could do that now and get the first ending. Yes, there are multiple endings, by the by. If you're new to this game, there are in fact 4, I think? 3, maybe? Anyway, there are several different endings that you can get, depending on a few different things. But I could go fight the final boss right now if I wanted to. And probably not have that hard a time with it, because it's not a particularly difficult fight, all things considered. Do I have the stuff that's good against... Holy... Don't. Yeah, I don't. That's okay. But then I'd have to come back here and do it all again. Later on anyway. But, for completion's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop a state right here. Which I think is, yeah, it's Shift F1. So, drop a state right here. Let's go fight the guy in this room. And then I can just load state after we see the outro.
I've been waiting for you.
So it is you. But why is a Belmont planning the resurrection of Count Dracula?
Count Dracula rises but once every century, and my role is over. If I can resurrect him, then the battle will last for eternity.
I mean, he's not entirely wrong, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately that cross that I have does no good because he's immune to holy. I love the hell out of this rendition of the theme, though.
Magnificent! But now feel my unbridled wrath.
So now he just gets a whole bunch of extra attacks added to his arsenal. Some of which are kind of bullshit, like the lightning one and the hydro storm. Thankfully, this strategy is fairly sound, of just kind of jump around him and hit him in the butt.
It's over, Belmont.
So the war between humans and vampires finally ends here. What need for the shepherd when the wolves have all gone? My time on this world has come to an end.
Mankind continues to fight, but it is a desperate fight to stay alive. I suppose that he chose a life of warfare, since that was the only way he knew. Like you, Father, he chose a path of destruction. Farewell, land of my birth. Never again will these eyes gaze upon your beauty.
Okay. So that's the bad ending. To put it mildly. You kill Richter, and then it gives you that outro, which is kind of cool looking. And then it gives you credits. But we're gonna avoid that ending for now. We're going to move on, check out some other stuff, finish the game. Because there is a whole lot left to this game that we have not finished. And plumb it down so I can get that big old bag of money. Oh, did it already despawn? It already despawned. Oh well. Anyway, that was what, 4.5 hours of gameplay? Yeah, so if you get to the end of that and you feel like, wow, that was really short. I can't believe I paid $60 for this game. Well, guess what? You're in luck. There's a whole lot more games still to go. Miss can't pass through that, great. Oh, missed it. Anyway. Ghost card. So now we have a new familiar card. We can turn on the ghost familiar. You can see him there. And he kind of floats around. He will occasionally attack enemies. But he's a pretty basic little dude. I'm going to switch back over to the Fairy Familiar. Because again, the Fairy Familiar's big bonus is that there are certain items that the Fairy Familiar gains access to and can use on you that you don't have any other real way to use. Keep hitting the wrong button. That's just on me. So if you do get hit by these guys while you're in bat form, they will immediately revert you out of it, and then you have to wait until you recover enough to change back into bat form. So it's kind of worth it just to fuck those guys up when you see them in human form, if you can. Just so that they don't debatitize you. They don't hit hard, of course. They're just an inconvenience. Ran out of mana. Thankfully there's a save point right nearby that I can just go run to, get my mana back. And also I want to save having acquired all those goodies from that northernmost room of the castle, or the highest room of the castle. Right down from here should get me that last square. I'm just going to kind of run over for now so that it's easier for me to deal with these little schnitz. Get some wall turkey. Sweet. And then you'll notice something up there. Ooh, what's that? Let's go find out, shall we? No, fucking flea riders. See, that's why they suck. That's why they suck. They don't hit hard at all, but they are obnoxious enough to hit and do enough when they hit you to just be a pain in the ass. Now we got Power of Mist though, which means we can stay in Mist form, which is untouchable, in fact. Mist cannot be harmed. See? I can go right through them and it don't matter. Eventually we get another power-up that makes Mist form even more useful, but for right now, it's just the best movement ability if we just want to move somewhere and avoid dealing with any of the enemies in the way. But we have all this new vertical mobility. We've now gone to everything we can get to in that area. Oh, did I forget to... I did. God damn it. I gotta go back to the secret room and deal with some stuff there. I forgot to get all the items in the secret room. Or all the squares in the secret room, rather. Get my mana back. I don't really need to... I'll save. I do think that the Mist form takes slightly more juice than the Bat form to use right now, but I don't remember, and I don't actually know if it shows that. Does it show me? I don't think it does. I'm sure somebody has figured it out, has taken the time to time attack. I'm sure that somebody has taken the time to figure out exactly how much mana per tick you lose with Bat form versus Mist form and all that good stuff. But I have not. Anyway, so the next place we're going to go is going to be to the left. I'm going to go ahead and clear out all the shit over there. And then we're going to get those few other unfilled spaces, some shafts that we can go up, and then we're going to go south, because there's a bunch of new stuff that we can get to down south. There is an ability that I would like to get before we go south. I don't remember exactly where it is, and if I don't get it, I can still deal with what I need to deal with. But there is an ability that makes getting through the blockade in the lower part of the castle much, much easier. We'll go there later. I think that's actually where the thing that I want to make that next bit easier is, but I'm going to clean up first and then I'll go do that. And here we are way back at the beginning of the game, where everything dies in one hit. Believe, yeah, it's this room, which has a nice vertical area that we can get up. I swear there was a secret over there, but I guess not. I must be remembering things incorrectly. Sure, I'll take that random short sword. And this room is the goodies room. It has every sub-weapon available to pick up and switch over to if you'd like. Which is great, because it's great. Skill of Wolf, that's going to let us dash, I believe, which is useful. Special move as Wolf. I think it's the dash. Is it the dash? No, it's not the dash. Oh yes, it's the little charge. We have a charge now if we do quarter circle forward and attack. We can charge through stuff. Which means the wolf actually has some use as an offensive option now. You can charge people.
There is something funny about this wall.
Oh, yes. I always forget about this secret, actually. This is one that I always forget about. Geo life max. I think that's the whole thing. I think that's all there is down here. So you get a free life max. Anyway. Nope, no, I don't want the knife. I'd rather have the cross. Nope, I threw my little thing on accident. Well, not on accident, I guess, but without intending to. So, yeah, literally on accident. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we're going to go straight up and then go back to Slogger and Guyben's room. And once we get there, we're going to go up to that spot that we weren't able to get to before. And now, we don't have to deal with going all the way around in this room. We can just go straight up it. Which is a big boon. That's a huge time saver. Oh, excuse me. But now we can go all the way over this way to the platform on the other side. Which will finally take us to this room, which is where the bat card is. And also, you can't really tell for right now, but this is the room that we've been able to see from the vertical hallway right next to it. If I go out that way, which is not the direction I want to go, but I'll do it for illustrative purposes. But if I go out that way, that's that room right there. So, we also got the bat card, so now I can summon the bat familiar. Again, you can see it there. Looks like a bat. Gonna stick with the fairy still, because... Actually, no, I am going to switch over to the bat for just a second, because there's a really fun thing that happens with the bat. Or there's some fun stuff that happens with the bat. Anyway, if you turn into a bat, then the bat familiar is all about you. It starts chirping incessantly, and it gets a little heart, and then when you turn into a person, it gets all confused. I enjoy that. I think it's cute. There are some other interactions, I think, with the different... Like, I don't think it cares if you turn into a wolf or into mist. Yeah. But some of the other ones also react if you turn into different things. Like, the ghost gets confused when you turn into the bat, looks around, gets all the question marks, and then just leaves. He just fucks off. Mist he doesn't seem to be worried about, and I think it's just the bat that they have interactions for. basically. But yeah, it's kind of fun. They have different little things that they do when you turn into different stuff. I don't know that the fairy has any. Yeah, the fairy doesn't really seem to have any interactions, or reactions, rather, if you turn it into different stuff. And I don't think that the demon does either. Yeah, just the bat and the ghost do kind of funny stuff when you change your form. It's the little touches, you know? I love the little touches they put into this game. There we go. I think, yep, this is the way I want to go next. And we can finally clear out the huge staircase that we've gotten most of. Need to make sure that you really tuck yourself up into every corner. But Mystic Pendant. Obviously the stuff I already got isn't going to show back up again. But there are a handful of items that you can't get to with the double jump just yet, so you have to sort of come back after you get bat form. Or conceivably, I guess, if you somehow found a way to break the game to get Power of Mist before you got bat form, come back after you get that. But I don't know that that would be physically possible without hacking the code in some way. Anyway, get access to all this stuff. And now this area is finally cleared out. And we got some new goodies. So let's check those out. We got the Ankh of Life, which improves healing item powers, but it doesn't give you a lot of boosts outside of that. And the Mystic Pendant, which increases MP restoration. Which I actually tend to use in place of the Bloodstone once I get it. Because by this point, I'm actually using MP a decent amount, since I'm changing forms so regularly. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to go back to that new area that I avoided before. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to where the warp was, so I basically warped from one area to another and then walked back to the first warp that I came from. But, we should be able to actually... You know what, I'm gonna take the gun, just because I don't think I've really shown off the gun at all. It's not great. It's not like the best sub-weapon by any stretch. But it's kind of novel, and I enjoy using it because it's so goofy. And it feels so out of place in this game. Yeah, that's how it works. It's not like a single bullet. You throw like a dart, I guess, a bullet, and then that bullet creates bolts of lightning. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I enjoy it. It's kind of a fun weapon. It's not great against a lot of enemies, because if anything has lightning resistance, it's not going to take a lot of damage from that. Actually, I think I want... I don't need it right now. I'll come back and get it later. It's important to remember that there is a clock there because there's a reason to come back there. Got that blocking knife. Stop it. Christ on a cracker. Anyway. Come on, game. I'm not getting button prompts like I want. It's kind of being slow to react for whatever reason. Anyway. Really, I think I'm just bitching because I didn't play so hot against that blade. But we can go up this tunnel here now, which goes way the fuck up, by the by. And suddenly, we're in a new area. You can see these prisoners rattling the bars. Lots of spikes all over the place. That's always fun. Oh, we can also unlock a different area as well that I forgot about, which we'll go do in a little bit. I believe that's the Estok. Yep. The Estok is a decent sword. It's got, yeah, good damage, but it is two-handed, which means you lose your shield. And it's a thrusting weapon, which means that it's going to drag you forward every time you swing. Which is potentially problematic, depending on how you play and what you're fighting. But we're going to stick to the shield rod and the herald shield. Oopa. Now all of a sudden we're outside. Whoa, that was weird. Oop. I'd rather have the gun right now. I'm kind of having fun with that, just sort of mucking about with it. Trying to decide if I'm ready for this fight or not. I'm gonna make a quick save state, just in case. But I think I'll be okay. This is Olrox. He's the Bat King, I guess. He summons bats, he summons skulls. That laser beam that he fires is actually fairly painful if you get hit by it. Those are also not good to get hit by. But all the other stuff that he shoots at you is basically just there to sort of pester you to death. Ugh. I also haven't used my Herald Shield at all. Not that I really need the boost at this point, but, you know. Ooh, got hit by that. That wasn't very smart. Alright, I've done enough damage to him to reveal his true form. Ugly green lizard monster. Get that protection from fire back since he's literally spitting fireballs at me now. You may have noticed that I'd been doing damage not just to him, but also to his hand when I'd hit his hands. I've now, I think, damaged one of the hands. Whoop. He starts doing way more shit as he gets lower on health. You know, normal boss sort of shit. Still not the most intimidating guy, but he does have a good amount of health, so you do kind of have to keep just wailing on him. I would love it if I could move. There we go. Oh, so she just gave me a protection from fire potion. And that's all Rockstead. So yeah, the fairy will sometimes give you things like that, a protection from fire potion to help you out. If the boss uses a lot of fire attacks, for instance. Alright. And now we can go up to finish out this room. And move out of the boss room. This is what I wanted to get through the area down below. So perfect. With that, if we're in bat form, we can now hit Y to send out echolocation. Doesn't look like much right now, but you'll see why it's useful when we get back to that room. Anyway, that's the fight with Aurochs. We haven't really explored the rest of his area at all, so let's do that. And then we'll move on to the next place, I guess. Again, they have that blockade there, I think, to prevent you from getting in without having the appropriate forms, but I don't know how you get there without bat form anyway. Oops, a little bit too far away. It's a cool statue. You can see just how big this room that we're in right now is. We'll come back and finish that room off in a bit. Yay! Got a ring that I can sell to the librarian that I don't need to buy anything from, but that's cool. Save room. Important. I really like this area because it's quite a bit different from a lot of the other areas in that it's sort of this weird mix of indoor and outdoor. So it gives you a lot of room to explore, but it's also more grounded, or, well, more grounded isn't really the right word for it. It gives you a lot of room to explore, but I like the area. I just think it's kind of cool. There's like this whole village in the background here. All these buildings that you don't get to go to at all, but they're all there, they're all rendered, it looks cool. You've got the big old moons shining behind you in the dark. And then you go into these sort of prison cells, and Ulrich's chamber itself is this huge, opulent room with all these decorations, and he's at this big, beautiful banquet table when you first walk in. It feels like there's a story here. Like, Ulrich clearly has a deal going on with the big bad to have his pad here in the castle. And this is going to bring us back around to a familiar room. Look, it's Tiny Man holding Big Man. Fuck off, Tiny Man. So now we're back in the chapel, having cleared out Ulrich's area. And the next thing to do is go south. So let's do that. Sorry, I had to sneeze really bad. Anyway, and the best way to go south is going to be to go down and back through the Colosseum, go back to that warp point, and then warp down, probably where we warped last time, so we can hit up the last few areas in the beginning spots there, and then we'll move on to the next thing after that. Ooh, that's money. I don't know why I'm so adamant about collecting money. As I've already expressed, it doesn't really do me any good right now. Hey, I hit the attack button. Yeah, they don't care, apparently. Anyway. Do 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 do. That's the clock, which I don't need yet. I'm gonna need the clock eventually, but not yet. always let myself get ever so slightly too close to Blade, and then he just stabs me a bunch. Doesn't hit very hard, so that's nice, but he stabs me a bunch, and it's frustrating. Wow. Anyway. So yeah, here we are again, back at the entrance to Oryx's chamber. And we're now at 5 hours. So it's all at half an hour after we left the boss fight that would have ended the game. And we still have a ways to go. I'm going to... What am I going to do next? I'm going to go get the stuff that's up, and then I'm going to open up another thing. If I can remember which way it goes. It's only one of two ways, so it won't take me very long to figure it out. Bap. Have I gone in here already? Yes, I have. Okay. Okay, so there's one right above me. I think, just to sort of give my mana some time to recharge, because I'm going to need that to get where I need to go, or to get up and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and walk out this way, and then I'll be able to go up and do the stuff that's in the entrance room, and then I'll come back to that other room, and we'll go up, and then we'll do something else in that room. Oh, look, there's a random Owl Knight out here. Oops, that was the wrong button. I like this one, like, flagstone here. Anyway. And up here, we get the power of Wolf, which will allow us to move much quicker, and the life max up, which is always a good thing. And yep, got all the tiles. So the power of Wolf, actually I'll just show it off. If I turn into a wolf now, and I double tap forward, go into dash, there's just no stopping me, baby. Anyway. So with that acquired, I believe I want to do this. Oops, I fucked up the button press. And then this. I think that's correct. Yep. And now this passage is opened up. You go in one way as a wolf, you go in the other way as a bat. Don't know why it does it, but it opens it up and gives you access to the jewel sword, which is not great. It turns enemies into the rings that you can sell, so I guess it's good if you're farming for money. And it also gave me something else, I don't remember what, a consumable of some sort. Anyway, so that's that secret room. Now we're going to go up. So, this guy is relatively cool looking. I like the green. I like the Gurkhas that he uses. He doesn't hit very hard still. I'm just gonna put this out there. If you have the walk armor, or the armor that gets better from exploration and walking, and you've been exploring well, it sort of chumps all the enemies in this beginning. I say beginning. It chumps a lot of the enemies in the first half of the game. So, yeah, I'm taking 1 damage from basically everything right now. Not because the enemies are particularly weak, but because my defense is very high. Because I've got that huge boost from the walk armor. So. Ooh. Anyway, yet another fun little secret area, and this gives us access to the Holy Mail. Now, the Holy Mail is decently strong, but the big bonus here is it is strong versus holy attacks, which means if I go fight Richter again, it chumps the shit out of his fight, because all of his attacks are holy based. So having resistance against holy attacks basically makes it impossible for him to really do anything to you. Alright, and with that, we've basically cleared out all the stuff that we can already get to that isn't new content. There's one last little square, which you can probably see in the waterfall room, the vertical room there. There's the center of the clock tower exit, which we're going to get to in a bit, and then again there's a little bit of stuff down in the basement. And we're going to go get there eventually, but first let's deal with the last little bit of stuff up here. Remember when we fought these guys for like 15 minutes at the very beginning of the playthrough? Because I wanted to start at level 8, because starting at level 8 makes the beginning of the game way easier. It's not really necessary by any means. You could absolutely start the game and not grind there and still be A-okay. But it does, again, make things easier. And we're at a point now where we're essentially done with this opening, with the first half of the game, which is why everything dies in just a few hits. Nothing does any damage to us. We're getting very close to moving on to the next exciting part of the game. And also, oops, that's the wrong button. Getting the rest of the stuff up here done. Slightly trickier than you might think, because you do actually have to avoid the waterfall as a bat. It will get you out of bat mode. But I did that wrong. God damn it, I keep drifting on accident. And if you do hit the water as a bat, it just cuts your momentum completely and you just plummet straight down. So, what you need to do is go up really high and then jump across into that one little gap that I have there. Which is easier said than done at this point. But that should have done it. should be able to jump up into there. Yep, fill that gap. And now we're just gonna go waltz right into the underwater area, or the bottom, the basement, whatever that place is, the lower part. Fucking frogs! You're all jerks. Alright. So our first destination is going to be all the way down and to the left, actually. Because the first thing that I want to do is get the stuff that's above the Discus Knight. If you remember, the last time we went any real depth into this area, there's a room. It's the one that has the chunk missing from the top left of it. There's a room that had a Discus Knight in it, and there was clearly like more room above him, but we just couldn't really get up to it. We didn't have the height that we needed. Now we do. So we're gonna fight our way over there, and then oops, that's not right. And then we'll go up and clear that area out, get all the goodies up there, and then we're gonna go to the right and get all the stuff that we haven't been able to get because we don't have the appropriate bat power yet. Anyway, I still have to go right first, so we're gonna go... I might actually just go right first because it's so much easier, or so much closer, and then once I've done that... Yeah, I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. Forget everything I just said. I'm gonna go to the right and do the room, the dark room that we couldn't get through before. Which is just over here, yeah. Through the slime hall. Alright, so now that we have...
Don't forget that some animals can live in complete darkness.
I guess that's the "Are you a dumbass?" hint. Or the "Hey, guess what?" hint, in case it's been a while since you got this. But now I can do that, and that will give me a map, as it were. It gives me an idea of what I'm looking at, right? And so you can see there's all these spikes on the walls, and I have to carefully navigate through the area without running into any of the spikes until I get to here. And once you get here, you step on the platform, bling, the lights come on. Now, the first time I did that, I didn't use this power. I used the fireball. It was so much harder to do because the fireball does not light up as much space, and it also knocks you backward every time you use it, which meant that I had to not only position myself very carefully to not run into the spikes just in general, but I also had to position myself in such a way that when I did use the fireball, it would not then push me back into the spikes after the fact. But for getting through that, you get some cross shurikens and some karma coins. The karma coins do a lot of damage to everything on screen. They're kind of great for certain enemies, certain boss fights that will remain nameless for the time being. And then once you get through all the were skeletons and all the other shit that's down here, eventually you get the goods. Say hello to the Spike Breaker. It's a suit of armor, and while the stats on it are not that great, they're okay, they're not great, what it does is break spikes, like the name says. Which means if we were to go back to that room, which we'll have to get out of here, all we have to do to leave is equip the Spike Breaker armor and just walk through all the spikes. They will immediately break upon us touching them, and it makes it so easy to leave that room. It also means we now have access to that one room from the chapel that was just lined with spikes, which is going to be an integral piece of solving the puzzle of how to get past the bad ending, which we got when we went and beat up Richter for no good reason. Anyway, so let's go back, and I think I'm probably going to get that last area that I wanted to get to down here, and then go save and call it a day, because we're at a little over an hour now. We just broke an hour, so I'm probably gonna wrap up after that. But let's show off the Spike Breaker. Yep. See? Touch anything with spikes and it just immediately breaks. So you don't have to fly back through here again, you can just tear it all apart. Which is kind of cathartic, really, when you think about how dangerous spikes have been in the game prior to this point. Like the clock tower, the spikes in the clock tower, those were so vicious. The other nice thing about this is that it's not restricted to human form, and if I were to turn into a bat or even the mist right now, it would still break spikes if I ran into them. Now that we've done all that, though, we're switching back to the armor that gives us good defense. Oop, I got slimed. Oop. That was interesting. A lot of the enemies down here still take more hits because this is a more advanced area. There's more dangerous stuff to fight. Still not necessarily difficult, but it's definitely more difficult than... I'm pretty sure I'm hitting him there, but okay. God damn it. I would love to be able to move, and then I can backdash away from y'all, but... Anyway. Fuck you. Alright, so this is the room I was talking about. We can come up here and continue to fucking clown on this Discus Lord. Because he will just continue to swing over our head as long as we stand close enough to him to be in melee range. And now we can get up into here and get all this good stuff. Like that ballroom mask. And this clearly obvious marked secret. First, let's get this though. There's Ice Brand. You get that one for free up here. Pretty good sword, 34 compared to 35 for the shield rod. Also deals ice damage, which is good in this area, so I'm going to go ahead and equip it for the time being. Has this cool special to it. Alright. And that's... Well, that's most of the castle explored. We still got to go up to the Hall of Spikes. And there's still a few other areas that we have not checked out yet. The other really nice thing about the Ice Brand versus the Shield Rod is that the Ice Brand attacks significantly faster. But you can see just how much more damage it does to the gremlins. And it also, you can kind of see it. There's this little blue trail that goes along with it. And that's actually an additional damage trail that it happens to do. When you swing. So, I'm going to save here. Having now explored most of the first castle, there's still a couple areas we haven't been. You can see that there's a doorway in that incredibly long hall on sort of the right side of the middle that we haven't been into. We'll go there. And then there's also the hallway with the spikes that I was talking about earlier in the chapel up north, or on the upper left side of the map that is unexplored. And then you'll notice that there's a little, like, L room that comes after the room we fought Richter in that we haven't gotten to yet, and we'll figure out how to get there eventually. And then again, there's also the room directly above the goat, the goat clock room, right there in the center that we need to get up to. So, a few more places to go before we're done with this castle. I keep talking about it like anybody who's watching this has never played this game before. If you haven't played this game, it's great. It's really, really good. But yeah, we're gonna finish this off. Honestly, we'll probably finish off this first castle map here thing. We'll finish this all off next week, I would imagine. We don't have a whole lot left to do here. So let's go ahead and make a quick save. And then I'm going to close the ROM, close the emulator, and say thanks for coming out. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll be back tomorrow for more Fallout. Sorry, no VODs right now. I'm behind on editing since school started back up. And I'm spending, 40 hours of my week teaching kids how to read and stuff. So, those will be back once I have the time to get them edited and put together again. But in the meantime, have a good one. And I'll see you in the next stream. Bye.